Okay, it's time to take a quiz over what you've learned. So, question number 1. Organize the following layers of the atmosphere from the surface to outer space. So, what is the layer that is the closest to the Earth's surface? Okay, that's going to be the troposphere. All right, what's going to be above that is the layer that has the ozone layer. So, that's going to be the stratosphere. Okay, now the layer that's above it I don't really care about, but it's the middle layer, and so that's the mesosphere. So M for middle, M for mesosphere. And then on top of that is going to be the thermosphere, not to be confused with the troposphere down here. And then finally, the uppermost layer, it's the outer, exit, and so that would be the exosphere up here. All right, question number 2. The ozone layer protects us from what type of radiation? Okay, that's going to be ultraviolet. All right, number 3, explain how a cloud forms. So you're going to start off with warm, moist air, and then because it's warm, it expands, and then because it expands, it's less dense, and so that's the reason why it starts to rise up into the air until it gets at a temperature at which the gaseous water changes to liquid water, and then you can see the cloud. Okay, question number 4. High pressure systems, do they encourage or do they inhibit cloud formation? They are going to inhibit. So high pressure means it's pushing down, and it pushes the clouds out of the way. So it inhibits them. Number 5, name 2 places where water is found in the hydrological cycle and explain how it got there. So there is just a ton of this stuff. So most of Earth's water is found where? In the oceans. Okay, how did it get there? Okay, rain puts it there. Okay, what about, where's the second most? Okay, that's going to be glaciers at the north and the south poles, and then the glaciers that are in mountains. That stores up a tremendous amount of water. And then there's also water found in the ground, so groundwater, and then also in the atmosphere and in the rivers and the lakes. Number 6, name one way that the geosphere influences climate. So we talked about rain shadow, so that as moist air approaches a mountain, it has to climb the mountain, and as it climbs it, it releases its water, so that by the time it gets over the mountain, it's dry. We also talked about how the spreading at a mid-ocean ridge, that can displace water onto a continent. We also talked about volcanoes and how volcanoes release carbon dioxide and how that can cause the greenhouse effect. So number 7, how has life modified the climate? So by removing carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere, it's made the Earth colder than what it normally would. And then by producing oxygen, that oxygen has chemically combined to produce rust. And so we said that that was one of the mechanisms for weathering. Number 8, name one type of landform. Well, okay, so you got rivers, a sand dune would be a landform, beaches would be another one, coastal cliffs, glacial valleys. So all of these are different kinds of landforms that are created. Number 9, name 2 things that influence what kind of landform will be developed in a particular area. So one was elevation. Another one was what were the kinds of rocks that were present. What's the climate like? How much rain does it get? What's the temperature like? So all of these things are going to influence the kind of landform that you're going to end up with. And then number 10, name an example of a landform found on another planet in our solar system. So we talked about the dikes on Venus. We talked about the landslide on the moon. We talked about on Mars, it was the dry river channels. And on Pluto, it was ice mountains. All right, so that concludes this lesson. So I will see you then next time. Bye.